What is this? Are we doing another solo podcast? Okay, I'm gonna cut to the chase. We're in my bedroom. It's solo podcast time. Solo podcasts for me are all about relaying information, relaying perspectives. That's why I take breaks from doing solo podcasts. I allow perspectives to sit in my head. But my entrepreneurial journey began with social media, with Monk Entertainment, with learning about the subject from Viraj Sheth, and above all, with sustaining my own brand over 7 years. Fortunately, thanks to all your love, thanks to all your support, but also thanks to a deep study of that subject and a lot of mentoring from the best in the business. The business of social media, the business of business in general. I have access to the best minds thanks to the podcast, thanks to staying in this beautiful city called Mumbai, and above all, thanks to ruggeding my own brain about social media every single day of my life since August 15, 2015, the day I began YouTube, the day I released my first YouTube video. Social media in 2022 is in a very awkward situation. Everyone knows short content is here to stay. Everyone knows short content has taken over Instagram and YouTube primarily. Let's face it, these are the two platforms at the forefront. Keep in mind, Twitter is the most powerful platform. The right audiences, the most powerful audiences are on Twitter. LinkedIn is where the corporate world is at. But Instagram and YouTube are at the forefront. When you think of a new brand, when a new person comes up in conversation, when a new concept comes up in conversation, people often search for it on Instagram. It's a very important part of our lives, at least for now, in the early 20s. It has cultural significance. Now, the way tech products work, a product means what Instagram looks like, what Instagram feels like, the features within Instagram. And all these features, the way they work, the algorithms, everything around it is centered around a few bunch of people sitting in Silicon Valley and thinking about how to increase the time spent by users on Instagram. And I'm assuming that in the modern day, the product team sitting in Silicon Valley have figured that really pushing reels on Instagram is the way to grip people as much as possible, because just the nature of reels, all that sexual content, all that football or cricket content, if you're a sports lover, all those cute, funny videos, that's what's addictive for the human mind. That's what gives you the quick dopamine release. The greatness of TikTok wasn't down to how many people uploaded content on it or the quality of the content. The greatness of TikTok in the product world, in the startup world, is usually attributed to the team of psychologists, the team of ML people, that's machine learning, that's artificial intelligence, and the team sitting and creating that product. They made it an addictive product because if you used it as a user within 2 or 3 minutes, the AI built inside the TikTok algorithm would understand your mind and show you exactly the content you would like to see, which very often was sexual content because that's what most of the world thinks about. It's kind of what's happening on Instagram as well. So many people are rising because of sexuality. It's just the nature of it right now. You can't fight the times. Instagram Reels began about a year and a half ago. And a year and a half ago, photos on Instagram mattered, IGTVs mattered, 1-minute videos mattered. And now all these three domains, according to me, are either dead or dying. In fact, Instagram has actually announced recently that they're switching off, like completely shutting down the independent IGTV app that they created, which was actually supposed to go and compete with YouTube. Vertical videos are the new norm, but it's all about short vertical videos. So if you want to grow on social media, unless you're on Twitter, it's all about short content. Algorithms affect our behavior, affect our mental health, affect the way we perceive life, and definitely affect the people we choose to follow on social media now. If you want to grow on social media, it's all about using short content, but using it well. Understand that the short content that works on YouTube Shorts, which is also the forefront of the brand, just by the way, they've changed their logo to that S, right? What does that mean? That means YouTube wants you to upload more shorts, use more shorts. I talk to a lot of kids who use only shorts on YouTube. That's not what I did when I was 14 or 15 years old. I spend a lot of time with professionals from social media who spend all the time on shorts and reels. It's here to stay. It's kind of sad, because long form content, as well as people's patience in their mind, has kind of died a slow death because of short form content. It is what it is. I'm not one of those people who say, hey, I lost my career because of it. This is so difficult. Shorts came and shit up for everyone. No. These are the times we live in. When there's cultural shifts, you flow with the cultural shift. You have to adapt yourself to doing good quality short form content. On Instagram, what blows up are popular songs, trends, very interesting reels with interesting beginnings. On YouTube, understand that, especially if you're an infotainment consumer, the YouTube algorithm has a lot of data about your head. I was talking to my friend Dipanshu Raj, aka Eclipse Nova, aka the co-founder of BigBrainco. What he told me is that he gains a lot of value from his YouTube shorts. More value from his YouTube shorts than he gains from his long-form YouTube experiences. So right now, we are assuming, and of course there's no way to be sure about this, but this is what we assume from a bit of pattern recognition. YouTube Shorts is promoting really informational reels a lot more. So that's where we're at when it comes to reels, and anticipated this is going to keep changing every 6 months to a year. These kind of trends, I don't want to use the word trends, but these kind of patterns are going to change. On Instagram, it will be about those trends like that. All that is going to keep going on. Popular songs, catchy shit, it's going to be there. Sexualization, of course, is going to be there. Sexualization was such a big part of IG even when I was in college back in 2011. Sex is always going to be a part of social media. That's it. That's where we're at. Focus on your short form content, master it. Use good quality cameras if you can, good quality lighting. Try telling stories in your shorts. Make shorts very interesting, very visual, lots of sound effects. Put your editing intensity behind a short. I would even go as far as saying if you're a younger creator, if you've just begun, don't even try long form content right now. It's the age of short form content. You've got to ride a wave first. There's no way as a young creator with limited resources will you be able to do all these platforms together. Which brings me to point number 2. Where are we at when it comes to long form content? I'll tell you where my generation of creators is at when it comes to long form content. Everyone is thinking about what to do next in their careers. Everyone's made money. Everyone's still making money. So it's not about money and growth anymore. It's about, I hate saying this, it's about boredom. People are kind of bored by just doing their YouTubing gig again and again. I'm personally not, only because of my team, only because I'm surrounded by a lot of younger talent. Also because I have the financial stability to be able to afford a good quality editing unit and really enjoy my filmmaking process. Also because I'm single and I'm documenting every day of my life on our Hindi vlogs. It's absolutely fun. Even though I document all days of my life, we only put up the best bits and we only put it up once a week because there's a much lesser demand for long form content. Changes on social media are often down to demand and supply. Right now, the demand for long form content has gone down and we're gradually seeing the supply go down as well because creators are picking up on it. What's working in long form? Of course, we know web series style shows. YouTube is sort of starting to compete with OTT platforms. So anything that has a story, anything that's created very well will work. As for creators, I feel lots of people, obviously, as you know, have transitioned into vlogs. You'll see that even more. I think vlogs are going to be the new medium to express yourself creatively as a content creator if you don't wish to be on an OTT platform or if you aren't on an OTT platform yet. Vlogs are a great place to showcase your filmmaking. That's what YouTube is going to turn into when it comes to long form content. But parallelly, the only other form of long form content that I see surviving is deeply edited, deeply researched content. There are 3 masters of this according to me. The first 2 are veterans. The third one is BigBrainco. I think they're doing a fantastic job. You should check it out if you haven't already. This isn't just a shameless plug. Go study the videos of BigBrainco to understand why their videos are doing well. Why is that channel grown to 300k subs so fast? In the modern day, growing to 300k without doing short form is difficult. There's something that's gone right in that channel. And the right is deep research, good writing, but primarily great editing. Now, the 2 veterans who I feel are the masters of long form and the 2 content creators that I have the most respect for in the world, Abhi and Neo, Dhruv Rathi. They tick all the boxes. I think they're here to stay. I think they're here to evolve. I think they're here to grow. I think they are the flag bearers of meaningful, impactful long form content. That's where long form content is at. We're talking about the third and final point. It's sort of a manual for young creators. Rule number 1 when it comes to the manual for young creators is study the subject of social media. Couple of years ago, I think we released a Hindi series about social media, and it is slightly outdated, but many of those rules still apply. So please go check it out when you have time. It's in Hindi. I might do an English one if this particular video gets 50k likes. Let's keep that as the target for this one. If it gets 50k likes, we will do a detailed English social media series. If it doesn't, then share it with your friends and get it to 50k likes. The day this crosses 50k, we'll do an English solo podcast series about social media. Okay, coming back to the point, manual for young creators. Study the theory of social media. There's lots of online courses. Lots of creators are paying for themselves through online courses. Everyone's selling the same kind of courses. How to grow on social media, how to grow a podcast, how to grow your brand online, how to grow a personal brand. I feel online courses had their time in the limelight. It was a great income source for many creators. I personally don't see it lasting beyond a certain point. I think the audience has caught on to the fact that, if you yourself are not past 100k subscribers, how are you teaching me about social media, etc., etc. You get the tangent. But if you want to learn about social media, all the content you possibly need is out there on YouTube, and it's out there in your own mind. As long as you analyze social media from a product perspective, you ask yourself, what am I being shown by the algorithms? What am I being recommended? What are the kind of conversations that come up in social situations? You'll kind of know what kind of social media content to create. If you really put social media as a concept at the forefront of your mind, you'll be fine, along with studying the theory. So study the theory, rule number 1. Rule number 2, think of social media from a very analytical perspective. Rule number 3, select very few games at the beginning. As I said, short content is here to stay. If you have business inclinations, if you want to make a lot of money, Twitter, don't go beyond that. Just target Instagram right now. If you wish to target YouTube, if you're an infotainment creator, create more shorts. So rule number 3, don't try doing too much initially, especially when you don't have a team. Rule number 4, work towards building a team. You have to learn teamwork. You have to learn leadership. You have to have a vision. The only way you'll be able to do that is when you ask yourself why you're doing social media. Next rule, very crucial. A Zenith report claims that $177 billion will be spent on the world of social media. It's just overtaken the world of television spends. Television spends stand at about 174, 175. This is going to go up to 177. That's the projected spends on social media, and social media spends are going to go up very likely. Okay. Understand money in this domain is increasing. So you have a game to play, but if you want to make money a year from now, 2 years from now, you've got to have strategy in place. Please treat your social media brand like a startup. And the next and final point is that massive social media numbers are always an outcome. Half of what you do on social media, but the other half is based on what you do in the real world. Are you a business person? Are you a YouTuber? Are you a good writer? Are you a sports person? We see those actors in these shows like Money Heist. We see Money Heist actors. We see actors of Squid Game. We see actors of Indian shows like Mismatch. Their numbers spike up after those shows are released. And on the other end of the spectrum, we've got social media content creators who are doing ghisai. They are releasing a lot of content, really working towards it, and they're gradually rising up. I am one of those people. But the kind of surges you get from real world achievements overshadows the growth you get from just being an active social media creator. Some people might say, oh, the grass is greener on the other side, and there's a long struggling phase on the other side of that spectrum. But in truth, that's what it is. So if you're a social media creator, think about what you wish to do in the world outside of social media. And if you're just beginning on social media, first establish yourself as a social media creator. There's a lot of money to be earned. There's a lot of growth to be seen. But the key here and the final 2 rules from this manual are: 1, always approach creativity with a process that is sustainable. Don't burn yourself out. Do what you enjoy, which brings in the numbers. And 2, have an exit strategy in your mind. This is not a very joyful job. I have a mentor, a friend, a brother, Ashish Tulsian. He's a bootstrapped multi-millionaire, big angel investor in the Gurgaon circuit. I asked him what he thinks of social media from the outside, and he said this very beautiful statement, which I agree with. He said that when you choose to be a social media creator as a full-time job, you're signing a contract with your own anxiety, because you will constantly have ups and downs, and because of the psychological theory of negative biases, you're going to focus much more on the downs. You're always going to be living in a little bit of fear of losing out on your relevance, of fading away, etc., etc. You are your last piece of content. There's always a demand for more content. The world hasn't seen a job like this. There are other very difficult jobs in the world, taking nothing away from them. This tests your creativity and emotional balance in a very different way. Therefore, have some sort of an exit strategy when it comes to social media. Ask yourself at what point you want to exit. Ask yourself what you wish to do after it. And more effectively, ask yourself how much money you need to earn your freedom. For that, understand personal finance, etc., etc. And to understand all these different subjects, make sure you follow the Ranveer Show. This was a social media special that I hope you enjoyed and you gained value from. Solo podcast will only come out once in a while because I need time to think and absorb what's happening around me. Enjoy. Good luck. Namaste. Love you.